Now at 5 and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a weapon report at a local middle school leads to an arrest. Investigators say it was all a lie. Plus, rising food costs hit a vital community service. How Meals on Wheels is fighting to survive. And the Charlie Kirk shooter was not acting randomly. How investigators say he planned the attack.
We had a couple showers that popped up late this afternoon. Cloud cover over the area that cooled us down for a moment. What's happening for the rest of the week? We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
And new developments in a missing person case that has stumped police for more than a year. Why searchers are focusing on one area. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Shauna Curry. 2 Howell Middle School students are in trouble after making up reports about a weapon on campus. This morning, school resource officers got word that a 12-year-old student claimed another student had a weapon. Then this afternoon, SROs received a report of a 13-year-old claiming there was a bomb on campus. In both cases, investigators searched and found no weapon or device. Officials say the students knowingly gave false information. Both boys were arrested for false report to induce emergency response and taken to the Juvenile Detention Center. Officials say students who report concerns in good faith will not face discipline. Even with funding challenges, Meals on Wheels of South Texas is making sure people in our community don't go hungry. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley joins us with more. Ray?
Yes, Shauna, with demand rising and food prices climbing too, the organization relies on other funding like help from the state to keep meals going. Founded in 1979 as the Victoria Senior Citizens Association, the group originally served just the city of Victoria. Over the years, it expanded to rural Victoria County, central DeWitt, and even parts of Goliad County. Today, Meals on Wheels South Texas delivers around 6,000 meals a month and also offers dining sites in Victoria and Yorktown for those who are able to come in person.
County has increased their funding a little bit because federal funding is drying up, staying flat in a atmosphere, as all of you know, if you've gone to the grocery store and go grocery shopping, food costs have risen. We're facing those same costs as a program trying to feed others.
When Meals on Wheels makes a delivery, a senior gets the nutrition they need to stay healthy and the kindness of a friendly volunteer. Sometimes that visit is the only social interaction they have all day. Capone says the organization is proud to keep seniors fed, supported, and connected to their communities, even in tough times. Shauna?
And now here's our viewer poll. Do you think nonprofit organizations like Meals on Wheels can keep up with growing demand for services? With more funding they can, or the demand is too high? 71% feel that they can keep up with the growing demand if they are able to acquire more funding through different sources. And Paula from Victoria says, I hope it can continue. So many people need it. My husband is a volunteer every week. Sometimes it's the only communication they receive, meaning the recipients of the Meals on Wheels. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote, and we'll have another look at the numbers at 10. The bridge on Cologne Road is getting a full replacement as part of a TxDOT project to upgrade 3 bridges across Victoria County. The whole project comes with a price tag of just under $2 million, with STX Civil handling the work. This bridge was supposed to close on September 8th, but crews shut it down a little early after spotting a safety concern. The Cologne Road replacement alone is costing about $632,000. And if everything stays on track, drivers should be back on the road by March of 2026. Well, a warm day, but we are starting to feel just kind of those cooler temperatures, a little bit less humidity. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez to see if this will continue into the week. Mac, what are we looking at?
Well, I think we're slowly getting into that fall feel. For us, 89 degrees would be a cooling trend, and I think we're going to be getting there by early next week. This afternoon, we did pop a few little showers. You see them rolling around. Looks like the heaviest stuff was just north of the city. I believe Yoakum and Cuero got the heaviest amount. We'll be taking a look at that and talk about what to expect for the rest of the week. And we'll take a look at those temperatures slowly coming down. All that coming up in a moment.
ABC News learning new information from investigators today about how the suspect in the shooting death of Charlie Kirk was taken into custody. Charges are expected to be filed against the suspect, Tyler Robinson, by tomorrow. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is at Utah Valley University, where students and employees have been returning to campus.
I'm at Utah Valley University. There was a gunshot.
Newly released 911 calls from the moments after political activist Charlie Kirk was shot on Utah Valley University's campus during an event last week. Those calls highlighting the chaos as the crowd sprinted to escape.
Where's the speaker?
I don't know. It was in the middle. There's people around him. He's a speaker. He's a debater, famous debater, political debater.
Police naming 22-year-old Tyler Robinson as their suspect. Law enforcement sources telling ABC News investigators have gathered evidence Robinson was tracking Kirk's events and public appearances through information posted on the internet. Sources also say there's evidence Robinson gained familiarity with the campus in the days before the attack. FBI Director Kash Patel saying today on Fox News that investigators found Robinson's DNA on 2 pieces of evidence: a screwdriver on the roof where they believe the shot was fired from, as well as a towel wrapped around the rifle investigators say they found in the woods. Patel also saying they discovered a destroyed note from the suspect written prior to the shooting.
I'm going to summarize, basically saying the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk and I'm going to take it.
ABC News learning new details surrounding Robinson's surrender. A spokesperson for the Washington County Sheriff's Office saying just before 10 Thursday night, Robinson, his father, and a close family friend who previously worked in law enforcement drove together to the sheriff's office. Robinson was held at the office until he was turned over to the FBI and other law enforcement. Robinson is held at the Utah County Jail on suspicion of aggravated murder, obstruction of justice, and felony use of a firearm. Charging documents against Robinson are expected to be filed by tomorrow.
I know the charges that the state is most likely going to raise, aggravated murder, but I suspect that the federal government is also racing to press charges as well, and there you have to find more of a federal nexus.
Over the weekend, Utah's governor is saying the suspect is not cooperating. However, his friends and family are. A motive at this point is not yet clear. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Orem, Utah.
2 men in Magna, Utah are in custody after police say they left a lit but malfunctioning incendiary device under a local news vehicle Friday. Authorities say 58-year-old Adib Nasir and 31-year-old Adil Justice Ahmed Nasir face multiple charges, including threat of terrorism and possession of weapons of mass destruction. An FBI search of their home turned up more weapons, devices, and other evidence, forcing a neighborhood evacuation. Police also say both men were under protective orders that barred them from having firearms. President Donald Trump says he will declare another national emergency in Washington, D.C. if local police don't cooperate with immigration enforcement. His last emergency order and federal takeover expired just last week. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has already required the city to work with federal law enforcement, but her order did not specifically mention immigration. On social media, Trump wrote that crime would, quote, come roaring back if he allowed that, adding that he is ready to federalize again if necessary. He has also threatened similar action in other Democratic-led cities. A psychic helps in the search for a missing San Antonio woman who has been missing for more than a year. Mike Jimenez went to the search.
Volunteers trekked through a wooded area in hopes of finding answers as to what happened to Caitlin, Kate Vada.
This is actually the second time we've come out to this area.
Vada disappeared on August 6, 2024, after leaving her home on Maria Elena near Culebra for a medical appointment. Vada made it to the appointment, but never back home, leaving behind her young son. According to police, someone called 911 from her phone from a Northeast Side motel, but hung up. Police spoke with witnesses who say Vada was assaulted at the motel, but officers didn't find anything at the scene. Assisting in Sunday's search was psychic medium Vic Andrea, who has been working with Vada's mother, Valerie Mendoza, since February.
She is simply looking to gain closure.
Andrea says through conversations with Mendoza, she's able to develop notes.
Based off of those notes, I get visions and signs and feelings, like I just simply feel things. And that leads me to certain specific areas where I would call a hot spot.
That hot spot led to Sunday's mission with Search and Support San Antonio.
We had a psychic who gave us some information, and it actually was corroborated by the police It was almost the same information that the police had that they had not released.
Sunday's search was in a 2-mile radius in a wooded area, but the location of the area is not being released because Kate's disappearance is an active investigation by police.
Spot we're digging in right now was an area of interest because we found unusual items.
Eric Kerr with Search and Support San Antonio says even after Sunday's search, they will continue searching for Caitlin.
We're still very interested in this area, looking for her. Any information, any articles of clothing, any signs that she was here last. Because she was in a location not too far from here the day that she disappeared.
Remember, your news, weather, and sports are streaming 24/7 at crossroadstoday.com. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 5, Ukraine's frontline defense relies on technology that keeps failing, why commanders are worried. Plus, protein is not the nutrition superstar that you think it is. The real hero hiding on your plate tonight. Ukrainian frontline troops briefly lost control of their drones today after a global Starlink outage. Ukraine has relied on Starlink throughout Russia's invasion to run its drone fleets. Chief International Security Correspondent Nick Paton-Walsh has more details on the outage.
For about 2 hours this morning, the Starlink internet service that Ukraine's armed forces are so heavily reliant upon to pilot and communicate between their drone units that form the bulwark of their defense, the Starlinks went down and became inaccessible for so many. That would have impacted Russia's armed forces too, who also use it. There was a similarly brief outage recorded amongst stateside users as well. But the of course great fear in Kiev is that if they lose Starlink, they lose so much of their connectivity across a front line where they're short on manpower and deeply reliant on drones to hold the Russians back. This was short-lived, but it's not the first time. In late July as well, another outage happened, slightly longer it seems back then, and there were deep concerns that if this keeps occurring, it could seriously damage Ukraine's defences. I spoke to many soldiers though on the front line then, and they were playing down how significant it was. They said they already had workarounds potentially, and that they'd known of this risk and were essentially trying to future-proof themselves. Ukraine public that it's looking for potential alternatives, possibly some political sensitivities about this entire service being under the control of its owner, Elon Musk, and his own political affiliations. But while these two outages appear to have been short, they certainly highlight how vulnerable Ukraine is to technological problems like this, given how central drones are to its defense.
The U.S. and U.K. are set to sign a new agreement this week that opens the door for more nuclear power projects in both countries. The deal is expected to make it easier to build new power stations and could mean a major expansion of nuclear projects in the U.K. The timing comes just ahead of President Trump's state visit to London. He also lines up with the Trump administration's push to boost nuclear energy, from speeding up reactor testing to expanding uranium enrichment. While the state's strict ban on gambling has not changed, fast-growing daily fantasy sports and prediction market apps are giving Texans new ways to wager without leaving home. To read this full Texas Tribune article, come to crossroadstoday.com. Gooder Foods is recalling 2 of its boxed mac and cheese products over allergy risks. 5 lots of Vegan is Believin' plant-based white cheddar spirals may contain milk not listed on the label. 3 lots of Here Comes Truffle shells and cheddar may contain cashews, also not listed. The company has received several reports of allergic reactions tied to both products. Customers who bought them are urged to return the boxes for a refund. From social media trends to fad diets, there's a lot of talk about eating tons of protein. Protein is important, but experts warn that too much, especially if it crowds out other nutrients, can have risks. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains how much protein the average person really needs.
It's part of a healthy diet. Protein from sources like lean meats, chicken, eggs, and legumes can help you build and maintain muscle, but it should be just one part of your plate.
If protein has the best PR team in nutrition right now, fiber is really the unsung hero.
Michelle Cardell with Weight Watchers International says fiber gets lost in the protein hype, but it deserves just as much, if not more, attention. She says trends like the carnivore diet, made up of only animal products, are concerning.
It's extremely restrictive, cutting out nearly all plant foods, which are going to be rich sources of fiber and vitamins, minerals, and then phytochemicals that are linked to long-term health.
Cardell says actual protein needs vary based on age, body composition, activity level, and health goals. But she says a good rule of thumb for more sedentary adults is about 1 gram of protein per kilogram of weight. So for a person who weighs 150 pounds, that translates to about 68 grams of protein each day.
More active individuals or older adults, those who are seeking weight loss, and those looking to build or preserve muscle may benefit, though, from higher intakes.
Cardell says to aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, but also make sure to keep a balance with your eating patterns.
As a dietitian, it would make my heart very happy if everyone's plate included a lean source of protein, a great source of fiber, and some healthy fats to help with that heart health and brain health.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Cardell says people who are aiming to lose weight, especially those who are taking GLP-1 drugs, which may result in rapid weight loss, may want to increase their protein intake to about 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram of weight to help reduce muscle repair, to feel fuller longer, and reduce muscle loss. A new study shows even more reasons to love the Mediterranean diet. This plant-based way of eating, packed with fruits, veggies, whole grains, beans, seeds, and olive oil, has already been linked to lower risks of diabetes, high cholesterol, memory loss, and more. And now researchers say it may also protect your gums, which can help prevent inflammation that leads to chronic diseases and even organ damage. The study, which included 200 participants in the UK, was published today in the Journal of Periodontology.
I would eat that. I don't know who's going to make it for me. That's the problem, you know. I don't understand.
Got to hire a chef.
All that stuff there. Oh, those guys that come cook at your house. That would be something. Anyway, folks, we're looking at 86 degrees right about now. We actually cooled a little bit because of the cloud cover that rolled in with that rain. We didn't get anything out at the airport, but I know that it's raining right now in Goliad, so I know they're getting rain. Got up to 91 before the clouds rolled in. We'll talk about what to expect for the rest of the week coming up in a moment. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. I thought it was terrific. Today, when the clouds show up, it all of a sudden gets a little nicer out there. Here's 59. You can see Victoria. Look at the rain. North Victoria County got a lot of rain, and even as we speak, it's raining down in the Goliad area. I don't know if rush hour in Goliad is going to be a problem, but we do have a little shower down there. We did get, as I mentioned, heavier rain in North County, so here's 77. So right about there, almost 2 inches, and about 1.5 inches to 2 inches right here, and that would be on the way to Cuero. So it's probably in Thornton, Thompson. Yeah, there it is. So right about there. So yes, we did get a few spots to get some good little downpours, and you know, little every day is good. You know, we started something here. Everybody is now sending us pictures of their hummingbird feeders, and I think it's great. I love it. If you send them to me, we'll put them up. But this apparently is the lunch hour at the feeder there. Both of these are completely full, and that is the amount of the hummingbirds that are migrating through the area on their way to Central America for the winter. So they're all passing through here because they know that October, November aren't that far away. All right, we're taking a look at Texas, and most of the cloud cover and moisture really have been only along the immediate coastline, as you see right about there. The rest of the state's just been high and dry with no significant rainfall. We take a look at the big picture to see if there's any huge organized storms, and not really anything to worry about. Out here they have a little low that's giving them some sort of rain and cloud cover, and then off the west coast of Mexico we do have that storm that we're going to talk about. The Gulf continues on the quiet side. That little front that we had last week, that's gone. We're still waiting for this thing to organize. Remember, it was getting going while a bunch of dust was going over it, so it was in a hostile environment. Now it does look like within 2-3 days it will organize. At this point in time, though, the computer models take it out and leave it out in the Atlantic. We will take a closer look at Miguel, right? Miguel? Oh, Mario, yeah, that's Mario. Mario started way down here. You see the little dotted line here? Went right up the coast, got very close to the mountains of Chiapas, as you see right here, and then finally started moving out to sea, and fortunately is headed out there. Now, when it gets up here and it falls apart, the storm will go, but the moisture will stream in. You see how the upper winds are taking that moisture in that direction? So we'll watch to see if it enhances the rain over the southwest, or maybe even areas of Texas. So we'll certainly be watching for that. What we have is high pressure on top of us between two areas of low pressure, one in the Rockies, one in the East Coast that I mentioned. As long as this red color or dark orange color is on top of us, we're just not going to get anything exciting. Now, as you see right here, by Wednesday, pressure's lower a little bit. It's still on the orange side, but as the center of the high drops away, we start picking up hopefully a little bit better chance of daily afternoon showers. So we'll be certainly watching for that as we get closer to the weekend. You know, we're not looking for big washouts. We're just looking for a little daily rain just to keep things nice. Looking at your 7-day forecast, we've got that 20% pretty much all the way through until we get to Wednesday, when the pressures lower a little bit, and that's why we improved on that rain chance right there. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that, put Crossroads a day on your phone. Shauna, back to you.
Still to come, TikTok's future in the U.S. may be secured. What a new deal with China could mean for millions of American users. Wall Street closes today with gains. The Dow up 49 points, the S&P 500 climbed 31 points, and the Nasdaq rose 208 points. The price of oil is up 63 cents to $63.33 per barrel. China says it will keep investigating NVIDIA after a preliminary review found the U.S. chip giant broke the country's anti-monopoly rules. NVIDIA makes processors that power artificial intelligence, a technology both China and the U.S. see as key to national security. The announcement comes as the world's two biggest economies hold their fourth round of trade talks in Madrid. Chinese regulators say NVIDIA violated the terms of its conditional approval to acquire an Israeli chip designer. Officials say a deal has been reached with China to keep TikTok running in the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says there's now a framework in place, and President Trump is set to meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Friday to finalize it. He adds the agreement aims to protect U.S. national security while staying fair to China. Previously, a bipartisan law signed by President Biden would have banned TikTok unless its parent company sold off its U.S. assets. But Trump has delayed enforcement several times. British luxury automaker Aston Martin is taking baby gear up a notch, teaming up with car seat brand Egg to create a high-end stroller. The Aston Martin edition of the Egg 3 draws inspiration from the sleek seats in its cars and comes in white, gray, and racing green. It's packed with features, a sunproof canopy, adjustable headrest, multiple seating positions, and a 5-position handlebar, holding children up to 55 pounds. It'll hit the UK and select markets later this year, starting around $3,000. No word yet on when it will be available in the US. The season of giving is starting early. How children can get their letters to Santa delivered with some extra holiday magic. Don't go away.
Tonight, the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the suspect not cooperating. The FBI describing DNA evidence. Was the shooting communicated to someone else? Plus, the possible new deal for TikTok, where things stand. World News Tonight with David Muir is the most watched newscast in America.
It might feel a little early for Christmas, but
it's never too early.
Never. Children can start sending their letters to Santa now. Through the Postal Service's Operation Santa, letters get matched with generous Secret Santas who help make holiday wishes come true. Letters need to be postmarked by December 6th. That really is not that far away if you look at the calendar. Yeah. New this year, though, people can even adopt a family letter to help grant multiple wishes at once. Secret Santas have been spreading holiday cheer for over a century. For more information on Operation Santa, you can check out USPSOperationSanta.com. And yeah, I mean, we're in the middle of September, so October, November. Yeah, we're 3 months away.
But all the holiday decorations are getting up real fast.
Yeah.
We are looking at, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all at one time. It's like seasonal items.
I'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, and it goes so fast. That's the thing about it. Summer goes so slow, and then the holiday season right through. Well, folks, we've got no major problems. We've got some fairly pleasant weather through the next 7 days, but slowly but surely, you know, we're getting shorter days. I hope you've noticed that. Our temperatures are going to go from mid-90s back down to the low 90s, maybe even to 90 as we get closer to the coming weekend. But all we have to worry about this week is just a little garden variety afternoon shower. Other than that, we're looking for quite a bit of sunshine and temperatures in the warms. As you know, as long as it cools off at night, it doesn't feel so bad in the daytime, and that's the trick to it.
Yeah.
We need to get down to about 65, 70 degrees in the evening.
Doesn't feel like Christmas time yet, but I did just count 14 weeks till Christmas. So it'll be here before we know it. Got to start shopping.
Yep.
So. Well, thanks for joining us. We will see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10. World News Now with David Muir is next.